Good afternoon. This is a code enforcement hearing for the City of North Miami. Today is June 5th, 2019, and I am Beatrice Kezo, Special Magistrate for the City of North Miami. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists at your property as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded, therefore all persons who are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. Where are our translators? Okay. Spanish? Not here yet. At least we have our Creole translator here present if you need assistance. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, and any witness that you may have should come forward to the podium on the left side of the room. When asked, please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business or mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today. And do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, and the property owner violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date for the violation to be resolved. Or, for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table this case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact and or ruling, then the property owner may appeal the administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered at these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record of the proceeding. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant, and it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal persons who plan to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at this proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, if the city of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. If you are present and will be given testimony on the case, please rise and raise your right hand so the officer can administer the oath.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings? Yeah, I do. Please stand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say, I do. I do. May be seated.
Do the translators now too.
Translator, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge and skills and ability? Say, I do.
Please announce for the record if there are any additions, corrections, and/or, oh, the pledge. Let's do the pledge. I'm sorry.
Please stand with your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now you can announce any additions, deletions, and/or corrections to the hearing agenda, please.
Item number 7, SDNOV 2019-00091 complied. Item number 9, CEEXP 2019-00079 postponed 1 month.
Officer Olshan.
Item 15,
handle her
CEODS
thing, please.
2019-00033 complied. Item 16, CEPFY 2019-00089 complied. Item 23, CEEXP 2019-00075 complied. Item 25, CEPFY 2019-00093. Ownership has changed. Item 26, CEIVY 2019-00058 has complied. Item 30, CEPFY 2019-00094 complied. Item 31, CEPFY 2019-00095 has complied. Item 37, CEGMP 2019-00048 complied. Item 39, CESPW 2019-00001 was postponed 1 month, and those are all the amendments to the agenda.
All right, if you're ready, please call your first case.
The first case is item 32. Manila Pauliska. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEODS 2019-00045. Item 32.
Good afternoon. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
No.
Does she need a translator? You need a
No,
translator?
my daughter.
Yes. Okay. Creole?
Creole.
Okay. If you're gonna be helping your mom, you can stand by her. Please state your name for the record. She has to speak into the mic, and we have to hear your.
Manila Boliska.
Okay. Put the mic where she can both speak, and both of you can speak at the same time. We need to be able to record all the conversations. Okay. Go ahead.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 820 Northeast 144 was cited for outdoor storage. In the carport area, there's a bunch of miscellaneous items being stored. And upon the final reinspection date, the items were still there. I drove by this afternoon, the items are still there.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Did you translate for her? No, sir. We have to do it into the microphone. It has to be recorded. If you need her to repeat, then she'll repeat it. Can you hear? Can you hear him? Louder? Okay. The IT wants you to be
No,
louder.
No, I removed them.
Okay. And when were they removed?
Maybe my pass here.
Since last month.
You did your reinspection when?
Today, after this morning's hearing, I just happened to drive by just to see if maybe they complied. And there's still items being stored in the carport.
Okay. I forgot to inquire. Can you pass them the photograph so that they can see it? And when? Go ahead.
That's not this morning.
Those
Those are my child's. I removed them.
Everyone has to speak into the mic.
With the carport, especially now that we've entered hurricane season, it's supposed to be clear of loose items. That's the reason why they're cited.
Okay,
So it's like children's toys, there's a couch and other miscellaneous stuff. It's a whole
Okay.
bunch of stuff. It was
Alright.
more stuff. They removed some, but there's still stuff in the carport.
okay, pass it forward, please. Pass me the photographs.
To take a look at. I have a more recent photo for you to take a look at.
No problem. And this is not a garage, this is just a carport? Okay. All right, I believe, the daughter wants to show me some photographs. Did you show it to the, officer? All right, the photographs that you passed forward is still showing that there are a lot of items still being stored. I want to make sure that you understand what the violation is. Do you understand what the violation?
So it's supposed to be completely bare, nothing there at all whatsoever.
Correct. There shouldn't be anything stored in that area. At all.
Se jo papye l'école li fait.
Those are her school papers. She's in
Es,
school.
oui, c'est ça kan bagay la konye la, oui.
Yes, those are the items that are under the garage at the moment.
From what I can see, I see more than just papers.
Those
Um,
bins in the corner, cause school year just ended, those are my, like, items or whatever, from my classroom. That couch is going, as you can see, it's wrapped up to be shipped, and that's what that is.
All right, there are other items. There seems to be a desk and a chair. Is there a desk and a chair?
On ti tab avant ou chaise.
A little table and a chair.
And a shelf? I guess everything has to be cleared out except for the bikes, if the kids are using the bicycle. I'm assuming it's not stored.
Even the chair?
On plastic chair.
I'm assuming you have to go back to the microphone so you can answer. I don't wanna.
I don't speak English, just anyway. Take a seat. But I
Your case is not being heard right now, ma'am. Please take a seat.
asking something I don't.
Maybe we should have her wait outside, 'cause she's being disruptive. Let her wait outside, and when her case is called, you can bring her in. She keeps speaking out of turn. Let her wait outside. Yes.
The chair that you see, is it like a lawn chair, like chair that you would sit on your porch? What type of chair?
Okay, let me pass it forward. Well, it's the same one that's in
Okay.
your photograph. So let me pass the photograph forward, and you can pass her the phone back.
The couch would have to go, but the lawn chairs, which is what they're called, they could have that when
Okay.
you sit in front of the house.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for right now, what in her photograph? Did you see her photo?
Yeah, I saw the photo on the phone.
Okay, so
All
tell.
the loose items can be taken in, because like the lawn chair, if in case of a storm, could easily be brought in. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so basically remove everything,
the loose items, yes.
the loose items. All right, ma'am. Based on the unrebutted testimony and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Ma'am, you have until June 26th to remove all the loose items from the court.
To remove everything.
I'm sorry? July 10th? All right, let me cross that out.
E ba l'école li ya.
Even her school stuff.
All right, let me rephrase that. You have until July 10th to remove everything from that area.
Okay.
If the officer drives by for reinspection and the items are still being stored there, there will be a daily fine amount. When you come back here on July 17th for your hearing, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
I will not
Okay.
be coming back.
Pas tourner.
All right,
I
good.
won't be coming back.
All right, and that includes costs for today. Okay?
Ok, merci.
Pilar,
Okay, thank you.
we assess costs for today? Okay. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Ok,
All right, bye.
merci beaucoup.
Pas de quoi.
The next item is item 14 for Christopher Sander. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CESTA 2018-00010, item 14.
Repeat that for me one more time.
Item 14,
14.
Christopher Sander.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and relationship to the property.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Mickey Marrero from the law firm of Burkhardt, Riddell, Fernandez, and Larkin. I am an attorney for the property owner.
Okay.
Okay, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. The order to comply was given last magistrate, stating that by 12 noon on Wednesday, May 29, 2019, that they should be in compliance or pay a fine up to $1,000 per day if the fine or if the violation continues beyond the time and date set for compliance of the order. And to date, they are not in compliance. I have and I
What
will
did you
show
have the
it.
fine amount as?
1,000.
Huh?
$1,000.
What item is this?
I think she said 14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have 250.
Yes, I have that. But, Your Honor, before we get into that, could I speak briefly?
Sure. Are we
Or
looking at the same thing? Miss Lewis, I just want to give her an opportunity.
Willis.
to say- Huh?
Willis.
I'm sorry, yes.
It's okay. I'm reading. That's the only thing that I see is the $1,000 fine on here.
Your Honor,
Says up to $1,000.
Okay, the notice always says up to, but I'm looking at the note
Okay.
that says 250. Got it. Okay.
And, just so that council can see what I have, and I'm going to show it to you, but let me just read it into the record. On June 4th, 2019, according to the map, says huge luxury waterfront pool, and I think this is supposed to be hot tub. It just says hot ... And it's a vacation home, and it is definitely advertised on the website. Let me just give this to him so he can take a look before I pass it up.
Yes.
One moment.
And Your Honor, if I may, we were here at the last special magistrate. Mr. Smith was here, and there's no question that the home had been rented short-term. They got the violation. We met with the city. They agreed to stop. There were advertisements placed, and what I told Mr. Smith and Ms. Willis at the time, and by the way, I've been in touch with the city manager, with the city attorney on multiple occasions. We identified Airbnb for sure that had, despite my client's request to remove it, was still keeping it online. We sent them correspondence. I copied Ms. Willis on it back in the beginning of April, and Airbnb ultimately removed it. My client identified 6 other websites. None of those 6 they had advertised on, that had repopulated the advertisement. What happens, because it happens a lot in Miami Beach too, when you initially have a short-term rental, what oftentimes happens is agents will repopulate that link on their sites, and then if they get a client, they then call you. This is not my client. We on April 18th, April 22nd, April 26th, May 1st, and then to the city manager and city attorney, May 17th, I requested from the city to confirm that we had found everyone that we had that was still advertising, we had removed. Apparently, there's something else out there. I spoke to my client this morning. He searched, could not find any others. He has not rented the home short-term for months. And I don't, we're sort of at a loss. I had hoped and I thought the direction of Mr. Smith was that if the city found some, it would tell us. But instead of doing that, after 2 months, they're showing me this here at the hearing. We tried. I was working with my client. He showed me everything he removed. I sent correspondence to the city. I don't know what else I can do. If someone illegally is using their, I was a victim once of an illegal real estate listing. We'll have this removed tomorrow. We'll request from this website. But they're really trying to comply. I've spoken to Mr. Cazot. I've spoken to Mr. Spring. I don't know what else I can do here. I really, I will happily reach out to this website tomorrow on behalf of my client to get it removed. But they've tried to remove everything. And if they would have showed me this instead of today, one of the 6 times I emailed the city, I could have had this one removed too.
And when did the city learn about this new website?
Today. Today is the 4th. What happens is almost like a cat and mouse. And if you can look at that so I can forward that up, please.
Sure.
Basically, it's like a cat and mouse. Yeah, you won't see it today, but you'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it 2 weeks from now. So, yes, he's right. He has been sending emails. And when I'm able to respond, I do respond. However, that doesn't negate from the fact that, and I hear everything that he's saying, and but I'm just stating the facts that, it'll be gone for a week or 2 weeks. And like he said, another website will pick it up and you'll see it. Maybe it's on Rooms, I was going to say Rooms to Go, Homes to Go, different websites that they have that do short-term rentals. And it'll be gone in maybe 2 weeks. And then again, it'll pop up, it'll resurface.
But it's not my client advertising it. I mean, I can get you an affidavit. If you want to, I can get an affidavit. I don't know how else. If someone is illegally using, it's a beautiful home. It's an attractive home. Other websites are using it either as a scam or repopulating it, but it's not them. And we've removed, at least that I know of, Airbnb and 6 others. I just, to find them for something they've not done, they're not renting it. There's no evidence that they've rented it since.
We're not here for the rental, so let's not touch on that because I do have evidence that they have rented it. So we won't go there. We're just talking about advertising only.
Sure.
So don't, my advice.
So, Your Honor, I don't know what you would like us to do. If you want an affidavit that I can, they're not advertising.
All right, let me turn to the city attorney and trying to understand where do we go from here. Because if they're taking the necessary steps to contact all the different providers and tell them to take down the ad, and how do they control all the other sites that are popping up?
If it's their allegation that they've not been the ones to advertise on this site and they're claiming that it's an illegal listing, the city would request evidence that they have taken steps and actions to notify the site of the illegal listing and taken some action to try to remove it from that site.
And
Okay.
we
I
provided
think that's
that for, at least for Airbnb. What I can do, because some of them are phone calls, what I can do is I can get an affidavit that we've, or at least a letter from me that we've contacted the following websites. I can't predict there won't be a 7th that pops up, but I really believe we are in compliance of this violation.
All right, so let's do this. Let's table it or reset it, and so that council can have an opportunity to contact this side and provide the city attorney with a list.
So what would, and just so I'm clear, what would the city attorney's, I'm happy to call Jeff tomorrow or the director of code. Is it a letter from us confirming those websites that they've seen, an affidavit?
Because you've alleged that this new one was one that you haven't contacted because you weren't aware of it, and it was one that you haven't
And just to
secured
clear,
personally.
my clients have contacted them. I've been copied on some of that, but
Have they
that-
contacted this particular website?
I can't tell you for sure, because a lot of them they have removed, and as she said, they pop up again, and they call again. So I for sure, Airbnb was removed. That one was the most difficult one. We had a conversation, we have the dialogue that I forwarded. That one is it just a Google, or what was it? I just looked at the
Is
picture.
it Google Maps? I don't know. Pass it forward.
And it's not just
Google
this one.
Maps.
I'll give a list of all the other ones that we've contacted.
I have one in black and white you can take with you. Just need the color one. And it's the same one, just in black and white.
I mean, I didn't realize Google Maps was even, I don't recall us to contact, I didn't realize they were like an advertising site. It's a directional site, but, so maybe they didn't check this site because they didn't recognize it as a vacation rental site.
And that's what
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. So, the city would advise with with it being tabled and reset for, additional period of time, to use that time to try to take some steps and actions to remove it off of that listing site.
Okay.
And then you can also bring the letters, because it's, really not on me or my responsibility to bring those things, but the same things you've been emailing me, to bring them as proof,
Sure.
that you've done what you needed to do.
So when will we table this to?
July 17th.
Okay. That's fine.
All
At
right.
6 PM?
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
The next item on the agenda is gonna be item number 40 for Shanna Sanders, Susan Backham. The case number is CELSC 2019-00005, item 40.
Is anyone present for that case? Oh, that's delayed. Okay, got it. Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
What?
Full name.
Susanna Bacom.
All right.
I don't speak English and I don't understand too much either. If they possible, I go home or they're gonna give me another time to come in.
Heard this case before.
I don't
They've
speak
c-
English.
She's appeared before me.
She's been before the, she's been before the magistrate for different cases in the past, yes.
And
But
she
the
speaks
maid-
perfect English, doesn't she?
She speaks enough that I believe she would understand. We've spoken at the property several times. She spoke with the officer who was in the zone before me.
Yeah, but if I don't speak English, what can I, if they asking me, I cannot answering. Don't you understand?
Said in perfect pitch.
I'll let the city decide how they want to proceed, but I have Code Officer Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. We have spoke at the property a few times. She's also spoken with the officer before me. If we take our time, I think she'll be able to understand, but she speaks well enough English that we have been able to have conversations.
The city would ask that we proceed, and if there's any difficulties that seem to be of a language barrier, that we consider it at that time. But in hearing her speaking in English, it doesn't appear that language is a challenge.
All right. Go ahead.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for the general maintenance and landscaping of the property. I originally sat at the property March 14, 2019, where I initially sent a notice of violation. I didn't receive a call back, so I went back to the property again on 4/23, whereas I spoke to the property owner. We had a detailed conversation about just the overall condition of the property. So much tree debris and trees you can't even see the house. She said that she would have this gentleman here cut back some trees, trim back some trees. When I went back to the property a week later, very little was cut, and very, very little, and compared to the overall property. I went back on the property on the 29th, last Wednesday, to take pictures. She pointed out another small pile that he had cut. Again, very little in comparison to what needed to be cut. As of last week, the 29th, when I rode by, the house still looks completely covered with trees. You can't even see the house. She needs to cut back a lot. She has called me. I have met her to the property 2 or 3 different times. I've gotten out the car, pointed out exactly what needs to be cut, but she's cutting back maybe a branch or 2, but you know, I have pictures if you would like to see how the house looks.
Yes.
The whole
please.
house, the frontage needs to be cut.
Okay.
I'm showing, come up here, Miss Susan. Is this your house?
Yeah.
This your house?
Look like.
Miss Susan? Miss Susan, you might want to pay attention. Come up here so she can, you know, pay attention. When she talks. Okay. Just stand right here and pay
So what I
attention.
say if I don't speak English?
Speaking to the mic, ma'am. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah? I
Yes.
don't speak English. I don't understand English and I don't speak just teeny bit. If you ask something, I can answer. Because
Okay.
I don't speak English.
Okay.
Do you understand
What-
when I met you at the property and I pointed, Miss Susan, do you recall when I met you at the property the 2 or 3 times and I pointed out all the tree debris that needed to be cut? I pointed out all the stuff that needed to be cut at the property. Stand over there.
Speaking to
Stand
the
over
mic,
there.
ma'am. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
He cut a tree already, the front.
And if you look at the pictures depicted there, it was actually, I believe, Wednesday, 2 days before their scheduled picked up day. That shows exactly what he cut. You can see the front of the house, and as you see that small pile. That's
Okay.
about how much he cuts.
He said he was cut the tree.
Speaking to the microphone, ma'am.
He said he was cut the tree almost every day. About half a ton of tree going out. But he has heart attack. He can do too much. Just
He cannot do too many heavy lifting.
not too heavy because he has heart attack. 2 heart attack. And I get stroke. And like heart attack.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of trees.
And that, yes, as you see, it's a lot of trees. You can't even see the house.
Right.
It's a hazard. You can't, you know, the entire neighborhood is complaining. You can't even see the house.
How did it get this bad?
I mean,
These are full-grown trees.
these are full-grown trees, full-grown bushes, shrubbery, everything.
Where's the entrance to this house? What's the entrance to this property? So you want them to cut this entire section here? You want them to clear up the path, the entrance to the property?
Yes, all of that needs to be cut back, whereas we can at least see the house.
Okay.
I met her at the property. You know, I pointed out, you know, and we definitely had a conversation a couple of times, and it's not that she's not understanding. She specifically stated she does not want to cut the trees because she likes the trees for the shade. She likes it for protection. She says she doesn't have AC. She doesn't have storm shutters, so she wants to keep all of this stuff because she feels it protects the house.
Protect the house.
As I told her, you can't use trees to as hurricane and storm shutters. You need to install storm panels or storm shutters. She says everyone in Keystone had damage except her because she had all of this protection around her house.
You know, those big trees, I lived there 70 years. All the time was there. If they get hurricane or everything, nothing out of closest the house, everybody having the window go, everything. Mine is stayed the way they, because the trees hold the wind and doesn't do any harm, the
Okay.
hurricane.
And you said it's been how long?
I'll be there 60 years.
6 or 60?
60.
Never do anything.
Go speak into the microphone.
60 years over there, and I never did anything because the hurricane and everything came. Those three pick up the wind, and they can do any bad thing in front of the house.
Okay. Well, I appreciate,
You know,
the
it's a
conversation.
tree, and
I-
beside it, the trees give you the air, the good air. So you cut it out, and then you wanna get breathe.
Mhm.
It's no oxygen because cut out the tree.
Okay.
I even
Jer-
talked to my doctor, and he said it's no such a thing like that. He don't understand either.
Okay. For the record, you have just explained everything that's going on that property in pitch perfect English. Having lived here at least 60 years,
Yeah.
which I gather from your testimony today, and you just explained this whole situation to me in English.
Little bit.
No, well, it's more than a little bit. It's more than a little bit. You speak perfect English, but when we first started, you told me that you didn't understand and you speak a little bit, and because you were trying to stall the process. You were hoping that I would reset this case, correct?
I don't know. I can.
But you speak perfect English. You understand perfectly, Miss Backham. How do I spell her name? Okay. You speak perfect English.
I wish I do.
Yes, you do. You speak perfect English, and you have been at that location for 60 years, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
nobody ever came, and nobody anything.
speak into the microphone.
Nobody ever did to come to the house to me, and they tell me do this and do this and do that.
No one has you're saying that you have never met this officer here?
Which one?
The one right next to you?
This?
Yes.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay. All right. Take a good look at her because you're going to be seeing her again. You're going to see her again. Ma'am,
Yeah.
the city wants you to clear out all the trees, all the leaves, what else is there? The front of the house. Go back into the mic. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah. All those three of which one I have it over 60 years. Nobody ever come to my house to do this and do this.
I do find it interesting because we are talking about grown trees. So do we just want her to trim the leaves? Because I know that she didn't just grow those grown trees overnight. Why has it taken the city so long?
I'm not asking her to cut the entire tree. I'm
Okay.
asking her to, some of this canopy of this tree needs to be cut. As you see,
Okay.
she has greenery and shrubs, some bushes that are on there,
Got
some
it.
cherry bushes that has grown. I mean, now I don't know, I'm 5 even. They have to be at least, I can't even see because they're growing all into the trees. She has trees and bushes. I clearly, and I'll meet her again at the property, if you, whatever is decided today to point out. But I showed her some of this canopy of this tree needs to be cut out. These bushes need to be cleared out along the front. As you see, you couldn't even tell where the front door is. You can't even see the walkway. All of these bushes and shrubbery.
All right, Ms. Backham, this is what I'm going to do. You have to listen to me. Sir, listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to table this case. I'm not going to make a ruling today because if I do, it's not going to be in your favor. Because first, you misled me into thinking that you didn't speak or understood English. And from my conversation with you, you speak perfect English and you understand everything that's going on here. You're giving me the 2 thumbs up because you realize you've been caught, right? So you speak perfect English and you understand exactly what's going on. And the officer's going to come to your house again for the 3rd time Basically, she's going to show you, right, the areas that needs to be cut and what you need to do. I don't know that your husband or your son, I don't want to mislabel who the gentleman is. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the work. You may have to hire somebody to come and do the work. You have to listen. You have to listen.
He said to me, he just take out 2 ton.
2 tons?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe he needs to cut down
They
some
said
more.
there was, the people, the city taking away the trees about.
Okay, he may have to cut down some more. And the officer has volunteered that she's going to come by again to tell you exactly what needs to be done. So by the time you come back here, okay?
But the gorgeous tree, big.
I understand. She doesn't want you to cut the big trees, but she does want you to clean it up a little bit because no one can see the house. Okay? They want to be able to see the house.
You can see the house, you cannot.
Okay.
Thank God for it.
Okay. Back up, please. All right, let's just reset this.
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you come back here and knowing that the officer's going to meet with you and tell you what needs to be done, when you come back before me or before the next special magistrate on July 17th, if the work is not done,
Take out all those big trees.
no. Okay, speak to the officer outside. Speak to the officer outside, okay?
Have to take down all of big tree.
No, ma'am. That's not what you're being asked to
they
do.
pointed out in case somebody can point at this tree, this tree, this tree. And that.
Yeah, she'll show you what needs to be done, okay?
But not to take out because I've been lived there so many years.
I understand.
It's the first time so it's happened what's happening now.
I understand. Okay?
Oh,
We'll resolve it, but you have to do your part, okay?
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
I'm
Have a good
sorry to
evening.
bothering you. Oh,
That's all right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Same
All
to
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
The next item is item 34, Pedro Pupo. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer in the case number CERCV 2019-00024, item 34.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Hi, my full name is Pedro Luis Garro. I'm the owner of the property.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 1085 Northwest 122 Street was cited for an RV and boat that are being stored on a property without an administrative variance. The last time I checked in the computer, they applied for a variance on April 30th, but it still has not been granted.
Sir?
Yeah, I applied for the permission, and the lady on Monday, Amanda, I think, they go to a property, and she said now I have to move the boat, more entries, and leave for the graph, and they never told me that part.
Say that one more time, sir.
I had to move the boat
Uh-huh.
a little bit behind from the gate and leave for the graph.
And
Lift
lift
it.
it. Okay. Have you done that?
No, I tell her I don't have a truck right now if I can move, so you can give me some time. He said, "Sure, sure. You just call me." She gave me the number, and I'm gonna call her as soon as I done it.
Okay. All right. No problem. Reset. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
How many days?
Huh?
You said reset, how many days?
We don't have anything next month or this month on July 3rd.
It'll be for July 17th.
Correct. So once it's done, you can contact the phone number and make sure you contact the officer as well.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
to rent a truck so I can move the RV and
Got
the
it.
boat.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay.
The next item is item number 2 for 124 Street Investments LLC. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CESIP 2018-00115, item number 2.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Robert Kahn, the attorney for the owner, 124 Street Investments.
Okay.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 12425 Northwest 7th Avenue was cited for the signage on the windows at Classy Lady Beauty Supply. I received the email from Mr. Khan today, and I also drove by the property to verify, and the signage has been removed.
Okay, it's closed.
Yes,
All right, sir. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
You too.
The next two items are item 18 and 19, Fritza Charles. Wayne Clark is the officer. The case number is CEEXP 2019-00056, and the second case is CEFAW 2019-00061.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Jeffrey Rod, I live there.
Okay.
Okay, Vanessa Willis, hearing the case for Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Yes, officer. So, CEFAW 2019-0061 is to repair the boundary CBS block wall and paint an approved color. They were cited back on March 5th, 2019, and to date, there has been no work done. I have photos that I will put into record. It'll show Mr. Charles.
I never got no citation.
He's spoken with, I did speak with Mr. Clark extensively, and I don't know if it was you or maybe your dad or older gentleman.
Nope, I live by myself.
Okay, well, I don't know. He said it was a guy who he spoke with, and what they did was they put two colors. You'll see on the photos where they put two colors on the wall, trying to show him these are the colors that they were intending to paint, but they have never painted.
First
And
of
there's
all-
no, let me just finish. You can speak, but let me just finish. There's no paint permit or anything. We're just asking you to paint. But let me show you the photos, and then
I know how my house look. I'm good. I know how my house look.
What is your, what is the relationship to the property?
I live there. I've been there forever. I was raised in that house. My mother
Okay.
owned the house.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get. Okay, your
Alright.
mom owns, because I wasn't sure if you're a tenant. I wasn't sure what the relationship to the property was. Okay.
so one
Alright, do you
violation is for the wall and the other one is for the house itself.
Okay. And these were taking in the 14. Okay. Do you understand the violation, sir?
Yeah, but I never received a first notice, and that paint marking was on the wall since last year, so it has nothing to do with Mr. Wayne, whatever his name is. Because last person I was dealing with was Jean Baptiste, and that was like last year, and that had nothing to do with the paint. I chose that paint, and me and my mom had a disagreement on the color. So we came to a standstill because it was rainy season, and then this is where I'm at right now. Because she said the colors are too dark, and she wants me to choose a lighter color.
Okay. All right. And this opened in March? Back in
Yes.
March?
And so where are these notices going? Because I spoke to you guys before about they were going to New York, and it makes no sense going to New York, and then why was not going straight to the house in Florida?
Miami-Dade Property Appraisers has your mailing address as 188 Main Avenue, Wheatley Heights, New York, 11798-2128. If that is the incorrect address, what you would want to do is contact Miami-Dade Property Appraisers and have them change it on the record. They're the ones who possibly made the error. But we're going by what Miami-Dade.
I mean, that's my mother's house, but in the same time, if a notice, you should send it to the house where I can where I can receive it.
Right.
It goes to that house, it's not going to be, it's basically going to go into.
She's not making that decision.
I understand
What she's
that,
telling
but
you is-
I mean, if you're gonna put a note, but why did they put this notice on my house this time to tell me to come to court, but they didn't give me a warning notice before about, oh, you need to paint?
He has. He said he posted the property. He left his business card sometime after that, and he's never, other than the time that he spoke, he said a gentleman at the property. He's never spoken to anyone since that time.
Only time, if that's Mr. Wayne came to my property, when he first he gave me a ticket on my truck, then he towed my truck the following week. And then my neighbor next door told me they were towing my truck. So if he spoke to somebody, that's the only time he spoke about it, and they never talked about it. They talked about what the towing company who towed my truck.
Okay.
So I don't know who this person is. It make no sense of leaving a note. If you're not leaving it in the mailbox, how am I gonna get it?
Yeah, but we're not legally able to leave anything in your mailbox.
So, but then
That's
you
a
saying he's
federal
leaving his
offense.
business card, like, you see the front of the house, it's gonna get blown away, whatever, so.
Okay.
All right, and you said the address in New York, that's your mother's address?
Yes,
Okay, and your mother is the rightful owner of this property, correct?
yes.
Okay. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I enter an adjudication. Sir, you have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
You gonna charge me $250 to paint a house?
Correct.
No pressure.
There's one more case on the property, which is CEFAW 2019-00061.
Special magistrate, I'm just advising him that if he feels like he needs more time to paint, because he does have to get a painting permit, it doesn't cost you anything. The city just needs to approve the color. So if you feel like you need more time, and I'm not encouraging that, but if you do, as opposed to getting upset, it may be
I'm
advisable
not getting upset.
to
It
just
just makes no
ask
sense, but it's all
for,
good. Just go
for
to the next case.
August. So
You were offering him till August?
I was saying that he needed to ask. It was just my opinion, my advice.
All right. Go ahead. The law.
Case.
I'm sorry.
I just called it
I was a
into
little
record.
stuck. I'm sorry. Okay, so the other violation is to paint the house. And that one was cited at the same time, March 5th, 2019, by Mr. Clark.
Well,
And
didn't that's what she just said about painting? So
she
what?
was speaking of the wall around the house, the masonry wall. And this one is for the house, right? Or did we do the house first
did
and now
the
we're doing the wall?
Exterior wall and paint an approved color.
Mhm.
Repair the boundary, CBS block wall, and paint an approved color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the difference between these two?
As you notice on the photos, there's a brick wall on the exterior of the house. So that's a different code section. You have to cite the wall or the fence, the wrought iron gate, separately from the house. So
What's
because
wrong with
it's
the
a
wrought iron
different-
gate?
No, I'm speaking in general of a code violation that when you cite, if you had an iron gate, it would fall under this particular code section. You have a masonry wall, so he's asking you to paint the masonry wall, the brick wall.
No question.
All right. Same ruling. All right, sir. Good luck to you.
The next case is item number 10, Ambrosio Corp. Ernest Baptiste is the officer, case number SDNOV 2019-00068, item number 10.
Ambrosino Corp, sorry.
I'm sorry?
Ambrosino Corp.
Okay. It's the officer.
Ernest Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a dumpster enclosure. Dumpster in the rear of the building. It's out or in the open, it's not enclosed and screened. Spoke to the owner and they say they are in the process of enclose the dumpster. So I would love to see any step that you have taken.
Well, I called the surveyor company because we needed a new survey. I told them that I needed the survey by the 2nd. I lied. I said that I had to come here on the 2nd. And they gave me the survey today. That's number one. But I already had the plans done by an architect and an engineer for the enclosure using the old survey, and they trusted me that the property hadn't changed. So I sent him sent him today the new survey. He said that it was okay, that everything in here is still valid. So I have copies of the drawings, and I have copies of the survey if you need them. And the company that I hired, it's called South Florida Restoration.
Okay.
And I told him that I was going to come to the city yesterday because they had something that they call open walk-in or something, walk-in permit, something like that, to inquire about pulling the permit in my name. And
Okay.
he said not to do it, that he wanted to pull the permit under the company name.
Okay. Did he go to building and zoning? Did he apply for the permit? Did he
No, because I just,
submit?
he said that he needed the survey and the drawing.
Okay.
And I just got the drawing on Monday and the
Okay.
survey today.
Okay.
I sent it to him by email, but it's gonna take them a couple of days to give me a quote.
Okay.
They're the ones that are gonna do also the facade.
Okay. And now you're gonna need more some time.
Sorry?
You're gonna need more time.
Yeah, for them to pull the permit and build it.
Okay.
I would assume that if they're, reliable construction, they seem to be, they shouldn't take more than, I don't know if they do the aluminum gates also, because it's a different type of enclosure than the chain link fence. I don't like the chain link fence, and I had the architect design exactly, something that is along the lines of the building and that it's gonna look totally closed, because we have a problem that we have a building across the alley with people that leave their stuff on our side of the garbage of the alley, in our garbage dumpster or on the sides of the dumpsters, and we keep cleaning up things that people leave, and there's no, I wanted to do this one with a roof, actually. And the architect said, no, don't do that, because then it's gonna be an added situation with the smell and with this and that. So I'm doing it at his request without a roof, but it's completely closed because I don't want any more of these people leaving things next to the dumpster. It's a nightmare.
So how much time do you need?
I need the company to tell me how long is it gonna take for them to build it. Do you wanna look at the drawings?
No.
No?
The drawing is not for me. It's for the building and zoning. They're the one that's gonna need to see your drawing, and so all I need to know is, did you apply for the permit?
No, not yet.
And when the contractor is going to apply?
He's going to apply this week at some point.
So I'm gonna ask for an adjudication and give him 2 months.
Okay, that's fair.
I did come to you, I'm sorry, my name's Alexis Sanfield, and I did come to him.
Speak into the microphone. Bring the microphone down.
I did go to Mr. Batiste and tell him that my landlord had broken both his hands. He has pictures. He was in the hospital for a really long time with both broken arms, so he couldn't do anything for a really long time. So I did explain this to him, and then he said he would give us time. And then we get this notice. So I just wanted to put that out there. And when he says that there is garbage put on the side
Doesn't matter.
I know,
I mean,
when
two
I
months is
find
enough.
everything that is left by my neighbors, baby carriages and stuff. So there's so much garbage being put on our side by other people who live in the neighborhood. Just saying.
And honestly, only because of her being one of my best tenants, it's unfair that she gets the notices to clean that up when it's obvious that it's not garbage that comes from a restaurant.
Or any of the other neighbors.
All right. Okay. Based on the testimony and your the stipulation, I'll enter an adjudication, and then I will give you 2 months. Well, Everyone has been getting 2 months by default, and so I'll give you 3 months. You have until July 31st.
July
Okay.
31st?
Correct.
That's less than 3 months.
I'm
That's
sorry.
less than 2 months.
August 28th. I apologize.
It's gonna be done by the end of July anyway.
So once it's done, contact the officer. If it's not done and there's no continuance, then when I address this case again, whether it's myself or another special magistrate, then they will see my notes. There will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Okay.
Okay. Good
I've
luck
already
to
spent
you.
$2,500 in the drawings and the survey. There's no going back.
Thank you.
All right.
The next item is item 30.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Item 38, Richard Thompson. Shanna Sanders is the officer. The case number CEODS 2019-00037, item 38.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.